religious, which is not right. I think what our ancestors wanted was that we should be a good society.
But this is very unfair on the part of your historians. You are rejecting his drawing, and he is trying to get it more and more correct because
He's recording.
no, that is what you want him to draw.
No,
but this is how we see you. Now we will take a vote on it, and everyone will decide whether.
This is the latest photo.
I think I need this.
You need this from that angle. मतलब हाथ करना करे तो. Then everyone can judge
If all
whether I
agree,
agree.
if
If all agree, then you are out. We have a.
You have your iPad.
1 minute. Kyo, mas yo, tempo kyo. No, sake. Yeah.
Look at his stomach.
Look at my stomach. Look at my stomach.
Of course.
Everyone agrees.
It's locked. Huh?
Yes, it's locked. What is it?
Okay.
Any other questions?
I would just
Yeah, please.
add a comment. Since one of them is about this business of, there are so many things that we don't observe. You know, for instance, this is a kind of two trees there in the plateau of Kanduli. Has anyone seen that?
Kandoli.
Kanduli Plateau. You can see from the bridge the two trees on the Kanduli Plateau. It's all flat. Only two banyan trees can be seen.
They have cut one now.
They have cut one. But that must be extension of the first one. Yeah. So those trees should be declared national monuments because they were there when the Portuguese took Goa.
What will be the age?
More than 600, 500 years. 500 years certainly. Because they already in 512-20 mentioned that as you enter the Bay of Goa, if you see those two trees, that you are entering Aguada Bay. So that they must have been already big for them to find them. And now, just yesterday, I was reading in the archives. I was very much taken up in the context of this, which I knew. A case in Shapura, the Shapura parish priest. This is already in 1769. Shapura parish priest says that he has orders of the Inquisition to cut a banyan tree on the Shapura plateau. But then he is in doubts. He says, I want this in writing so that later on they don't blame me for cutting it. Because that tree is used also by the ships that come in as a rudder. And then he proposes a solution to the Inquisition, that they first built a big cross there, and then that you will cut the tree.
Good deal, yeah. Very good deal. This win-win situation, this is what you call a win-win situation.
So see, unless you read things like this, you have this kind of fantasies.
In Anjuna, there is that stone which people worship at today. The writing cannot be read. What is it? What?
It can be
The one which is fallen down.
It's broken now.
What is it?
It's a stone of curse. You know, it was. I won't be able to tell you the year.
Where is that stone now?
It is there.
It's there in Anjuna.
Inside.
You can visit it. You can visit it very easily.
There was another one which I took to the Xavier Center. And I was stopped on the way.
A whole lot of stones are just dropped there in the Sarigaon church and all from your old Goa stones are there.
So what the
The max that people have.
Yeah.
Say, no, it has gone and filled those things.
Because I thought
You
I
can
would
read?
escape
Yeah,
them.
only thing
But I reached the dead end.
You can
Here, right?
Yeah.
So beautiful. I'll send you
It is a curse.
stone of curse. Yeah, because they say that there was a widow and a child who was forcibly converted by the priest.
Of Anjuna.
Yeah, this is Anjuna.
Anjuna, there is a clear record in the Inquisition books. So the problem was that the Franciscans entered the kitchen of the people. And you can't enter the kitchens because women are normally in the kitchen. So that was considered as, so people got angry. they worked up and they beat up with the Frederick.
She just want to ask a question.
It's not a question.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that I'm Portuguese, and many festivals, popular festivals, come from our religion convictions. So it's not about how we feel about Jews, but we also have some places in Portugal where we burn some pagan statues, like a symbol of burning witches. And we also run
The stick.
with a stick, and there are many traditional festivals. That doesn't mean that we are we don't feel any bad feelings for Jews or for witches or for something else. It's just a way of amusement that comes from many years ago. So we don't have any hard feelings against Jews. I don't know here, but also Inquisition is not a taboo thing. We have lots of museums explaining what people were how people suffered in that time. But it was not only in Portugal; it was all over Europe.
Yeah.
Actually, Portugal was born as a country because there was Inquisition, because Frederick fought against Muslims. So it was not only in Portugal. Yes, we were very bad to Jews and to witches and to everybody. So, but it was not only in Portugal. It was all
Spain.
over Europe. Spain.
I think it started in Spain.
Spain, yes.
But there's a counter version on the Inquisition at least.
Even this Inquisition in Portugal, not that today's Portuguese people are against the Jews. For that matter, today's Goans and Indians are not against the Jews. But the festival linger on, even when people don't know the meaning. But that's one difference. There's one difference that needs to be taken note of. In Portugal, there has been some kind of formal process to mix up with the Jews. There have been even a formal apology to the Jews. And last year, Portugal changed its laws to a Carta Orgánica, restoring the right for citizenship to Judeo-Sephardists. This is the legislation of last year, 2013. So there has been some formal steps taken by or on behalf of the Portuguese society, which are lacking in here, and it is a taboo here. It's not taboo in Portugal. So many things that one can talk to Portuguese people or in Portugal about Goa, we cannot talk in Goa because we are very holy in a sense.
Portugal is like we have lots of museums where
Carta Orgánica, if you want, I give you the number.
we can see
From last
where
year.
we can see how they torture people back then. But maybe this law has different and political reasons, not just historic, not an historical apologize to Jews. It has many political reasons.
No, not political. I have a personal thesis for that, but it's not a political. It's not only political, it's far more ingrained than that. It's some kind of generational brainwashing into certain beliefs that we are unique, we are great, we are better than anybody else in the world. And we don't want to acknowledge that our noses are okay.
You think the Portuguese think like that?
No, I am not saying. The Portuguese incentivize the process along the years with that homopath, religion, the civilization and all that, and we took it very seriously.
We still take it
We are
seriously.
still lingering with it.
Actually, we don't feel very patriotic. We are losing our roots mainly because we don't feel patriotic and we are losing some.
And I heard that the Portuguese themselves are questioning those people who came to civilize us. They say they came to civilize us. I read one of his articles recently when he writes that since Francisco Xavier, he must have witnessed Inquisition there, and he came here and he wanted it to be introduced here. And if I say that,
People are not ready to.
accept it. Even I mentioned Inquisition to one young priest, he said that was in the 11th century.
Let me share this thing, some kind of sadness with you, not as a Portugal, but as an European. There are taboos which are in law for you people. For example, you cannot talk about Holocaust independently, whatever it may be. Because you can be even penalized, so many thousand euros. Now, fortunately, we don't have that sort of a law here. The taboos work at another level, not at the level of law.
In Portugal, we can talk about Holocaust.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No problem. I've been in Berlin.
Germany.
They have museums.
Nobody in law, even in Portugal, you cannot.
You cannot deny it. You cannot deny it. You cannot deny it.
One part of the topic.
But then where does hate speech come in? Where does hate speech come in? What I'm saying, there is freedom of speech, but at some point it becomes hate speech. Here in India, you have laws about outraging people's religious sentiments. Now, it may seem illogical, but that's the only way you can carry on. Augusto.
Yeah.
Augusto.
1 second. Can I change tack a little
Please,
bit?
please, please.
Because this is... could we get personal with Dr. Teotonio Souza? I'm Augusto Pinto. Augusto?
Your fellow Moidekar. Your fellow Moidekar.
Yeah. A fellow Moidekar. It's not Moidekar, but one Maradon. I thought, your introduction to this book, Go Out to Me, was quite fascinating, The way you brought up your origins, tracing it right up to the 16th century. Fascinating. I mean, it's almost biblical in its scope and imagination, or royal almost, because this is the project of tracing one's roots right back to the old days, like what you see in the beginning of the Bible. But anyway, I was really, how did you manage to do that? It was one thing which I wanted to know. The stories related to that, again, the stories about, let us say, his 20th century descendant, your grandfather Lam Jaku. Fascinating, absolutely. Many things, there are many nice things that you told about him, how he could, he was kind of a quasi-judge there in the village, how he would was able to measure tracts of land. Quite fascinating. I thought you edited things out in that account. We hear about Lam Jaku and we hear how he's nicely glorified, if I might say that. But, what about those descendants or those people who were here probably before our Shantapa Kamat came there? What about them? Who is to write their stories? Are they to remain silent forever? I'm not a professional historian. I'm just a storyteller.
So what do you want to know?
That's what. Why is it that the historians shy away from telling the stories of those people who perhaps were never allowed into Lam Jaku's house?
Lam Jaku house was a very poor house. Was not a royal house as you described. You made him royal. He was far from it. Then why should I, or how can I write about somebody else whose documents I do not have? I write of him because he is connected with my family. And by chance, I was not looking for his documents. If I had been looking for it, perhaps till today I would not have found it. But just by chance, I landed into a book of Daman. It had no reason to be in that book, that particular document I cite there. It was a book bound wrongly with a book of Daman. And there was a marginal note in pencil, Moira. So I said, is there Moira in Daman? So then I saw that it was a mistake. So that was just like that. If I wrote that, it was just to take benefit of something which I discovered by chance. So it is there. And then I go on reading and found that it was the same fellow who tells briefly his story. And I have not come across such a thing. It's not common. He writes in Kannada script. He writes in Kannada briefly his life story, saying that he was orphan boy, brought up by the Franciscans in Reis Magos, and that he helped the fathers to catechize the village at the risk of his life at times. And then he says that the village temple is no more there, it has been destroyed. But the temple properties are there. And then now he is married, so he has family duties, and he would be very happy if the king would give him some of those properties.
Which year?
1619, if I'm not mistaken. 1619-20. So it's not 16th century. That's the first document I found.
17th century.
Yeah, early 17th century. And he writes that letter, and takes to the government person here. I suppose the Franciscans helped him too, because he could not have direct access to the government official. Probably San Franciscan did the job. And he sends the letter with a translation done by the state interpreter. There was always a state interpreter, lingua distal. So I could read it because of that English translation.
Portuguese
translation, which is attached there.
From Konkani to Portuguese?
From Kannada.
Kannada script Konkani.
To Portuguese. And then that letter is sent to King Philip I of Portugal, second of Spain. And I went looking for another document and found the reply. This one. Hello. And there we are